Welcome on back to Skippers today. 5 must-add players for your fantasy baseball teams in Week 8. Let's get into the players. First player is Alex Cobb of the Giants, 44% rostered. If you're not able to pick him up, I think this is a guy you should trade for. 3-2, 6.25 ERA, 39 strikeouts, 1.55 WHIP in 31 innings pitched. This season for the Giants, he's 27.7 K percentage, 6.4 walk rate, 66.3% ground ball rate, but a 2.72 FIP, a 2.32 xFIP, and a 6.25 ERA versus a 1.91 expected ERA. He has a 4.11 batting average on balls in play again. What does all this mean? He's been extremely unlucky. You look at his StatCast metrics, 90th percentile average exit velocity, 93rd percentile hard hit percentage, 98th expected weighted on base, 97th expected slug, 93rd expected batting average, 98th expected ERA. The chase rate's 97th percentile. The barrel percentage is 94th percentile. All of these numbers are screaming to buy Alex Cobb or pick him up, and I think you should do exactly that. Second player is Max Kepler, outfielder for the Twins, 45% roster, 248 average, 6 homers, 22 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. I think he's quietly had a really good start to his year in Minnesota. His expected batting average is top 8% of the league at 313. His expected weighted on base average is a top 5% of the league. His max exit velo is 94th percentile. Expected slug is 90th percentile, and his walk rate is 90th percentile. There isn't much Max Kepler can do. He's a 29-year-old player. He's started to figure out what he's able to do as well. 2019 was a long time ago, but maybe we could see the return of 30 home runs for a player like Max Kepler. I think he's going to have tons of runway in that lineup, and I think he can be very valuable for your fantasy teams for the rest of the year. My third player is William Contreras of the Braves, 32% roster, 273 average, 7 homers, 11 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. I'm all aboard the William Contreras train. He kind of did the same thing last year. He got into the league, lit it on fire, and then cooled off a little bit. I have a couple things I like about William Contreras. One, he wears all yellow accessories, so he looks like Ronald Acuna Jr. So I see him running the bases in some of these highlights, and I just think it's Ronald Acuna Jr., so it makes me really excited. And then, second of all, they just want his bat in the Braves lineup so badly. He was playing left field on Monday for a guy who comes up as a catcher. He's 24 years old, an OPS of 1.146, a weighted on base average of 475, and a weighted runs created plus of 209, all while running a 217 batting average on balls in play. I'm pretty sure home runs don't count as balls in play, which is maybe the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and that's why this number's so low. But I think he can even go higher with his average and get some more hits. He needs to be rostered in 2-catcher leagues. He could be a nice option in 1-catcher leagues where you need some runway to ride this hot streak. William Contreras is a solid bat, and I'm just going to keep riding it when it's hot. Fourth player this week is Santiago Espinal of the Blue Jays, 29% roster, 284 average, 2 homers, 17 RBIs, and 3 stolen bases. This is a player with a nice boost in average department for your roto leagues. There was a comment last week saying, oh, I'm surprised that Santiago Espinal wasn't in the video. I watch every single Blue Jays game, and I think I don't look at the Blue Jays based on fantasy value. I just look at the team on that value. So I know how good Espinal has been as a player this year. He just ended a 16-plus game hitting streak. His big thing was he added 15 pounds in the offseason, allowed him to hit the ball way harder than he was before. But then you look at the StatCast numbers, and it's not that much harder than league average, even some below. He's the best average on the Jays since July 1st last season. They've moved him up in the 2-hole since the team has kind of struggled. His hard hit percentage is up 10 points from last year. Expected batting average is 88th percentile, and there is no one immediately threatening him for playing time like Kevin Biggio. He's in AAA. So I think you're in a good spot if you pick up and just ride Santiago Espinal. And finally, I think I found a nice little hidden gem here. Not a hidden gem as the name, but just some of these metrics have kind of off the page for me, and that's Zach Eflin of the Phillies, 19% rostered, 1-3, 3.65 ERA, 35 strikeouts, and a 1.14 WHIP. So he obviously had an awesome start last time out against the Dodgers. He hadn't struck out more than 5 in any previous start, and he just missed a ton of Dodgers bats, 19 whiffs on 53 swings for a 37% called strike and whiff rate. He's an underrated serviceable starter. You shouldn't expect starts like the Dodgers all the time going forward, but I think he's a very, very solid player that you can just plug and play pretty much all year, and he's not going to kill you. So Scott White article here said he threw his best pitch more, doubling his typical curveball usage, and it ended up being responsible for 12 of his 19 swinging strikes. The season-long whiff rate on his curveball is 45%, so it looks like a genuinely elite pitch. There's no telling if he sticks with this approach, but if he does, you'll be glad you picked him up now. Thanks, Scott. Great guy, CBS Fantasy. I look into his percentile rankings, and they are absolutely crazy. So 99th percentile average exit velocity, 96th hard hit percentage, 95th expected weighted on base, 95th expected ERA, 83rd XBA, 88th expected slug, 80th barrel percentage, and 88th in walk percentage. The only thing is 52nd for strikeouts. So if you need strikeouts on your wire, this probably isn't the guy. But I think this might be a nice time to pick up Zach Eflin. And if these numbers continue, he'll be a nice little gem for the rest of the season. Thanks for watching. Make sure you join the Discord, subscribe, and let me know in the comments who you're picking up this week. We'll see you next time.